What is a dirty joke that'll go over innocent minds? Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the video. What did the deer say when she came out of the woods? I'll never do that for $2 again. One that stands out is in Aladdin, the 90s one. The genie says when the castle is being attacked, the castle isn't supposed to be shaking until the honeymoon starts. A woman sat down and said, "Bartender, I'll have a double entendre," so he gave it to her. Once I told a dirty joke to my father as a child. I didn't understand what I meant and completely got it wrong. The joke was, how does a bald man run his fingers through his hair? He cuts holes in his pockets. My foolish child brain thought it meant that the man's hair fell out into his pockets. My dad is bald, so I thought it would be hilarious. The day I realized what it meant, I audibly gasped. Two nuns are out cycling. One says, "I've never come this way before." Second nun, "It must be the cobbles." So my high school buddy tells the joke to his mum. "What's long and hard and full of semen?" "A submarine." His mom retells it to her husband. "What's long and hard and full of sperm?" "A submarine." His dad gets a confused look. Reproductive health clinic with a sign that says for family planning and contraceptives. Come through back door. How do you find a blind guy at a nude beach? It's not hard. I can vouch for this one since I told the joke to my mother when I was a kid and didn't understand what I was saying. I still remember the shock on her face. How does a woman hold her liquor? By the ears. Why isn't there a pregnant Barbie doll? Ken came in another box. What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball? Gag. A penguin takes his car to the mechanic. The mechanic says, "Give me an hour to diagnose the problem." The penguin goes to Dairy Queen but gets the ice cream all over his face and body because he has to eat it without hands. So he goes back to check on his car. The mechanic says, "Looks like you blew a seal." The penguin replies, "No, it's just a little ice cream." How do they separate the men from the boys in the Navy? With a crowbar. A cab driver is driving a lone woman to her destination. The cab gets a flat tire, so the cabbie gets out to fix it. The woman, trying to be helpful, asks, "Do you need a screwdriver?" The cabbie replies, "Thanks, but I need to fix this flat first." What's the difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea? I don't pay $100 to have a garbanzo bean in my mouth. Man goes into his doctor's examination room and looks him square in the eye and says, "Give it to me straight, doc." The doctor replies solemnly, "I can't do that, I'm afraid. We're both men." I remember watching an episode of The Simpsons when I was a little kid, and Lisa wins an essay contest. So the family goes to DC. Marge and Homer are looking at the Washington Monument and Marge whispers something in Homer's ear, to which Homer replies, "Oh Marge, grow up." "Yeah, I didn't get that one." I also didn't understand that Lisa witnessed a blatant exchange of money between politicians for a rather heinous act. Why is Santa's sack so heavy? He only comes once a year. What's grey and comes in buckets? An elephant. What's better than roses on your piano? Tulips on your organ. A nurse walks into the doctor's office where a very sick man has been waiting patiently. She approaches him with a clipboard with all of his information attached to it. As she greets him, she pulls a rectal thermometer out of her shirt pocket, then says, "Oh great, some arsehole has my pen." The name of the newest South Park video game went over my head until I heard my son read it aloud in a store. South Park, the fractured but whole. So much of Rocco's modern life. Chokey's chicken is the most obvious ongoing joke of the show, but there were definitely tons of adult jokes scattered across episodes that were one-timers. The show seems like a guide on how to get dirty jokes past censors that children won't pick up on. I told this joke to 4 of my grandma's church friends when I was 6 cause I thought it was a church joke. Only one laughed. 3 nuns die and show up to the pearly gates. Peter, "Hello sisters. To get into heaven you must answer one question correctly." To the first nun, Peter, "Sister, who what the first man?" Nun number 1, Adam. Peter, "Correct. Come on in." To the second nun, Peter, "Sister, who was the first woman?" Nun number 2, Eve. Peter, "Correct. Welcome to heaven." To the last nun, who was very nervous, Peter, "What was the first thing Eve said to Adam?" Nun number 3, thinking aloud, "Wow, that's a hard one." Peter, "You're right. Come on in, sister." Why did the sperm cross the road? I wore the wrong sock today. Q, who's the most popular guy at a swingers party? A, the guy that can carry a dozen donuts without using his hands. Q, who's the most popular woman at a swingers party? A, the woman that can eat that last donut without using her hands. Q, what do hillbillies do for Halloween? A, pumpkin. I can vouch for this one because my son told his grandma. I was mortified, and she didn't get it. One pirate says to the other, "Did you know there's a steering wheel in your pants?" The other says, and it's driving me nuts. Why did the Amish girl get excommunicated? 2 men a night. True story. My wife is a big fan of country music. Hey, she's from Arkansas, give her a break. One of her favorite songs has always been, "If I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?" She never got the double meaning until I explained it to her. What do you do when a whale comes in your window? Swim. How does a woman scare a gynecologist? By becoming a ventriloquist. Judge, so let me get this straight, Mickey. You want to divorce Minnie BC? She's crazy? Mickey Mouse. No, Your Honor, I said she was freaking goofy. A baby born underwater can live the rest of its life that way. Not really a joke, but very few people notice that a starfish, crabs and a sandy squirrel are found in Bikini Bottom. Girl, my lips are very dry, boy. Doesn't it hurt when you walk then? What do you call a hooker with a runny nose? Full. Not really dirty, but here goes. What does an elephant say to a naked man? How do you breathe with that thing? How's your head? No complaints. I'll tell it to you when you're older. What 2 things in the air can get a girl pregnant? Her knees. When the river runs red, take the dirt road. From Victorious, dude, after getting a bad grade in an exam, how come a person goes from an A to a D? Savage gal. Happened to me in 8th grade. Lines of a kiddie show, which obviously went over all kiddie minds. My mom tucks me in every night. She always wanted a girl. Okay, my dad always said this one. Why do mermaids wear seashells? Because seashells would be too small. What's the difference between priests and acne? Acne waits till you're 13 to come on your face. Why don't lesbians cook? They always eat out. I got kicked out of the Cub Scouts for eating a brownie. One of my favorites. Dad, how comes my sister is called Teresa? Because your mum loves Easter and it's an anagram of Easter. Thanks, Dad. No problem, Alan. I was hoping for jokes that also make sense a non-dirty way. Sad face. My grandpa always told me, when I was younger, to tell people I got my red hair from the mailman whenever they ask where I got it from. I never understood why people would laugh at my response because my dad is literally a mailman. Once I got old enough, I fully understood the joke. I really wish my grandpa was still around so he could have seen my reaction. My favorite joke was on an episode of The Simpsons. I forget which episode it was, but there was a sign in front of a feed store that read, "Sneed's Feed and Seed, formerly Chuck's." I only eat cucumbers that have been in a house overnight with a teenage girl. Kumquats are the dirtiest innocent thing. They're rich in vitamin C. My religious teacher used a "that's what she said" gif on a quote by an inspiring woman and posted it on Insta story. What's the hardest part about eating a vegetable? The wheelchair. Why do girls have legs? Well, have you seen the mess snails make? Anyone seen that rock paper scissors meme? Rock, picture of a rock, paper, picture of paper, scissors, picture of 2 girls. 2 nuns are in the bath, none 1. Where's the soap? None 2. Yes, it does rather. It took me way too long to understand that one the first time I heard it. Please subscribe if you like the video. It really helps the channel to grow. Adios.